Look around. The people sitting in their corner offices, glued to their screens, hustling for that MBA stamp as if it's a golden ticket to some secret kingdom of success. They're stuck in a loop. They follow recipes designed decades ago, trapped in classrooms and PowerPoints, repeating lessons that barely scratch the surface of what real entrepreneurship demands. You know it's true. You feel that gnawing frustration every time something you try falls flat, every time a conversation drains your fire instead of fueling it. That sting? It's because this system doesn't teach what you really need to become a founder who changes the game. It's not about memorizing frameworks or ticking checklist boxes like some corporate drone. No, it's about something much deeper, something raw, alive, and wildly outside the norm. Imagine the world not as a country, a brand, a market, or a spreadsheet, but as a pulsating, chaotic network of human hearts beating in sync across borders and oceans. Imagine tapping into a force so fierce, so untamed, it doesn't just prepare you to build companies. It charges you to reinvent the very ground you stand on. That's what cosmopolitanism is. It's not geography or passport stamps. It's a mindset, a rebellion against the fixated, the boxed in, the predictable. It's about embracing chaos and difference, about tearing down the walls your MBA pushed you to build. It's about recognizing the problem. The world you inherited is built on illusions, comfort zones dressed up as freedom, sameness paraded as unity. It's about seeing that all the right answers you drilled into your brain might just be the wrong foundation for the unforgiving future you want to own. Because here's the brutal truth. The best founders, the ones the textbooks don't talk about, the ones who build empires from dust and storm from silence, they aren't made in lecture halls. They're sculpted in the raw grit of real life, in the fire of borderless collaboration and relentless questioning. They thrive not by following rules, but by questioning them. Not by comfort, but by discomfort. Not by uniformity, but by vibrant, electrifying difference. But let's go deeper. What does this actually mean for you? You're here because you refuse to settle. You're burning inside with that unbearable tension, the feeling that you're meant for more than the tired scripts handed down by legacy systems. You crave power, not the kind handed out by titles or degrees, but the kind that breaks chains, that tears down fake comfort and forces you to confront yourself, raw and unfiltered. You want to rewrite the future, not fold yourself neatly into some pre-made mold. Forget what they told you. Success isn't about network size alone, about listing MBA grad on your LinkedIn, about playing the game by someone else's rules. The truth is this: the system makes brilliant individuals lonely, isolates the rarest talents, misaligns the nature of their power and potential. There is no room for the exceptional in their playbook. It's a machine optimized for mediocrity, for sinking you into a life where ideas are sanitized, where danger is avoided at all costs, where your individuality is slowly eaten alive. Cosmopolitanism is the antidote, the secret weapon the education system forgot to teach. It's about harnessing the power of the edge, of those outcast, misunderstood few who refuse to live compromised lives. It means connecting with people unlike you, but with fire just as fierce. It's about recognizing that your strength grows, not when you assimilate, but when you amplify your unique differences in collaboration with others who burn in their own distinct ways. It's a brutal, beautiful synergy that no MBA case study can capture. Think about what an MBA teaches: risk management, strategy, leadership, finance, the safe side of the coin. But real founders? They live in the guts, in the moments nobody talks about. The moments when you question everything because the maps no longer serve. When you unlearn the fantasy that stability equals safety. When you dare to reshape reality, not just with numbers, but with vision, with relentless resolve, with the stubbornness to go where no one has walked before. Here is the secret. Cosmopolitanism is not just a philosophy, it's a practice. It's a relentless commitment to being sovereign. Your will, your weapon, your questions, a sword cutting through the noise. It calls for being selective, aligning not with the crowd, but with the rare few who share your fire and your refusal to bow. It demands patience because the long game is the only game. It dares you to exist beyond borders, beyond systems, beyond tired limitations imposed by society, by geography, by outdated institutions. Every second spent stuck in the old system is a second your fire dims, your potential withers. But every moment you choose the path of cosmopolitanism, you reclaim your power. You build better maps, not just for your startup, but for your life. You find partners who see your uniqueness as strength, who challenge you to grow deeper, more courageous, more impactful. This path is merciless. It asks more than comfort. It mocks safety. It turns its back on the idea that success is something handed to you after checking boxes. Instead, it demands you become fierce, unfiltered, untethered. It demands that you burn. Burn past conformity. Burn through illusion. Burn beyond every limitation you've ever believed. And in that fire, you become the founder, not just of a company, but of a new kind of future. One that transcends borders, that rejects the narrow confines of the past. Because when the rare link with the rare fire, synergy turns from a buzzword into an unstoppable force. This is how revolutions start, how industries crumble, how leaders who were never trained to be founders become the founders the world desperately needs. The truth that MBA programs won't tell you is simple. Knowledge alone won't save you. Credentials don't make visionaries. Systems don't birth rebels. But the courage to reject comfort and embrace difference, that can change everything. That can build founders who don't just survive, but who create futures the system never dreamed possible. So here's the call, not for the many, not for those who crave easy answers, but for those who feel the silent fire inside, the suppressed urge to be more, do more, become more. The fire that says, this world was never built for me, so I'll build my own. If that's you, then this is your home. Here is where that fire is not only welcomed, but sharpened. Here, you don't just learn to found. You're forged to lead a movement of founders who redefine reality itself. No MBA can teach this. No classroom can contain it. It lives in the friction between cultures, between ideas, between those rare individuals who refuse to settle for the world as given. It's in the pulse of a global network made not of sameness, but of difference turned into strength. It's a movement where the few ignite the many, where isolated brilliance is woven into unstoppable power. To escape the chains of illusion, to rise out of the monotony, to become the founder who truly changes everything, you must step into this fire. Embrace cosmopolitanism not as an idea, but as a relentless practice. Let discomfort be your compass. Let diversity be your fuel. Burn so bright and so fierce that the old systems have no choice but to watch you pass by, a new kind of founder, rising from the ashes of the obsolete. Because this world doesn't need more of the same. It needs you. Not polished, not packaged, but raw, unbound, and on fire. That's how you create a future where freedom isn't a promise, the illusion, but a lived reality. That's how cosmopolitanism builds founders who don't just start companies, but start revolutions. And that fire? It's already inside waiting. The question now is simple. Will you let it burn?